We have the example of the mother of Imam Shafi'i. May Allah have mercy on him. We know he was one of the 4 great Imams. His mother saw to it that she let his son spend time amongst the scholars of Medina. And she saw to it that he spent time with the scholars, so much so that one day he became one of the greatest scholars of time. We have the example of the mother of Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari, when he was a child, he had a phenomenal memory, but he was blind. And all the doctors had given up hope that he will never be able to see in his life. But the mother was persistent in praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She prayed every day to Allah that please restore the eyesight of my son. And one day she gets a dream in which Ibrahim alayhi salam comes and says that the eyesight of your son will be restored, and Imam Bukhari again starts seeing. And we know that he became the best muhaddis, so much so that the Sahih Bukhari that he compiled is the most authentic source of Islam after the Quran. There was the striving of the mother in making Imam Bukhari. Let me give you one more example of Salah and Faruk. Salah and Faruk were 2 people, they were a couple who loved each other. They married, and within few months of marriage, there was a call for jihad. So Faruk goes for jihad, and when he goes for jihad, he says, I'll come back soon, within a few months. And he gives to Salah, his wife, 30,000 dinar. Now 30,000 dinar, according to a person in UK, he calculated it, and he says it is equivalent to 2 million pounds. 2 million pounds. Not dollars, pounds. Dollars will be close to $3 million. So, he goes for jihad, and few months pass, 1 year, 2 years. After about 2.5 years, somebody comes and tells Salah that he had seen Farooq, that he was injured and he fell in a ditch. Then few more years pass, and then she thinks that my husband is dead. 30 years later, Farooq, he's alive. He comes back to Medina, but before he goes to his home, he goes to Masjid Nabawi. When he goes to Masjid Nabawi, he sees many scholars discussing among themselves. And the best that he could find was Sheikh Abdul Rahman, who was about 30 years old. And he's impressed, mashallah. See the city of Medina, all talking about knowledge and ilm. What a beautiful city. And see these scholars, especially Sheikh Abdul Rahman. Then he goes to his house and he meets his wife, Salah, and she's overjoyed to know that her husband is alive. So they overjoyed the union after 30 years. And later on, Farooq asks his wife, you remember I had given you 30,000 dinar and I told you keep it safe, don't spend it? She says, yes, I remember. Where is it? So she asks that before coming home, did you go to the mosque, which is a habit? He says, yes. I went to Masjid Nabawi, I went to the mosque. She asked, what did you find there? I found there many scholars discussing among themselves. Then she asked, who is the best you like? So he said there was a young boy of 30 years old. His name is Sheikh Abdul Rahman. He was the best. Then Salah asked him that, how much would you give to gain knowledge, for you to gain knowledge as much as Sheikh Abdul Rahman? So he said, I wouldn't mind giving all my 30,000 dinar to acquire the knowledge like Sheikh Abdul Rahman. Then she asked, what if you had a son? How much would you spend on your son to acquire knowledge like Sheikh Abdul Rahman. He said, I wouldn't mind spending multiple times more than 30,000 dinar to make my son as knowledgeable as Sheikh Abdul Rahman. So Saleh tells, after you left, after a few months, I had a son. And I spent all the wealth you gave me in giving him knowledge of the deen, and that man, that young boy, Abdul Rahman, Sheikh Abdul Rahman, is your son. Imagine, both of them loved deen. And the mother spends the full saving, not on herself, but on educating her son. And the father also said, I would spend multiple times more in making my son like Abdul Rahman. Imagine 30,000 dinar, 2 million pounds.